So we're going to look at using Google Sites and how to share a template with your class. Um, Students will probably have no issue jumping into Google Sites and picking a theme or a template and just getting started. They love to click around a Google site or any, PowerPoints and Google Slides, and they love getting creative and running with that. Um, However, giving a template to the kids is a great way to, help with organization, ensure that all the kids are meeting the minimal requirements of the project or the portfolio. They can still edit the template once they're in, but you're giving them the specific pages of the template that you want them to complete. So this is a good way to kind of manage that. So we're going to look at creating a simple way to get these templates out to your students. For teachers, the sites is a pretty intuitive platform as well. You can kind of create a site within a matter of like a half hour, and get started with that. So let's take a look at some tips to consider real quick before getting started. Communicate to your kids that content is king. Be consistent in their design, who's their target audience, if they're changing the color scheme and the themes and adding photos and graphics, making sure it's appropriate and it's visibly pleasing to the user or the viewer. To have the students use white space. There doesn't need to be, pages and pages of text or photos on the page. Make sure that kids have the opportunity to revise and triple check for errors. You might want to pair up kids and have, peer review sessions with that. And think about what needs to be integrated with the site. Google Drive and YouTube and all those things can be added to the site as well. Calendar, that might be on your teacher page, but you don't need a Google Calendar on the student page. All those things should be considered and communicated, to the kids, and have a discussion about that. So let's take a look at sites. So first is get your app icon and check Google Sites. I'm already on the page, so let's open up this student project site. So here I just picked a template and I just added a couple pages to it. We can look at that in another video session. So the first thing to do when distributing the site is to make the site you've just created a template. So click the settings cogwheel, scroll down to manage site, and then what you want to do is scroll to the center of the page on this first page and click publish this site as a template. And then you want to rename it. And you need to give it a description and then go ahead and click submit. So this site is now in the template gallery, and if you make changes to your site, it'll be in the gallery, okay, invisible to all users. So I'm going to close this page. So I'll access my project site distribution list. It's a Google Sheet that I already have in Drive. So I have that open here, and I already have a roster saved. So just a couple colleagues in as my class roster. And what you're going to want to do is select the add-ons option, and if you don't have it, you're going to search for the add-on called Site Maestro. I already have it added, so I'll launch this now. Alright, so I want to select a roster. So here's my roster of students, or in this case colleagues, and I'll select use the roster. and then go ahead and say select, or next, excuse me. So I want to search for a site, or I can use a site that I can cut and paste a link in here by skipping this step. So I found that to be a pretty easy solution. So I'll say skip the step, and I'll come back to my template, Control C to copy that, quick Control V to paste it, and then here you set your permission levels for the students. I think they should have edit rights, and you can remain the owner. You can always delete the site if it's needed or the student wants to start over. You probably want to keep the site private to you and the student, you know, especially if it's a portfolio of their work and reflections. And then you want to name the site. So down here at the bottom, it has a little description of the tokens you can use. So $ first name, $ last name, and you call this project 1 site. Go ahead and select save and continue, and authorize the API to access the Google site. It'll run a script in the background and it'll let you know when it's done. One cool option here is if you don't want one user to have the site, you can select exclude and you can give them a different template. So now you want to go ahead and select create sites. Students will receive an email notification that their site was shared with them. This is just about done. So here you can see the fields are populating, the site web address, the status, and that column E shows you the name of the actual site. So it's the naming convention that you just wrote. So enforce sharing settings and visibility. So that means they're private to you and the user, rather than public or searchable for the entire group. And you see that status is changed right now. So it's set to private for the user. And that's it. So now everyone really just got a notification that they received this site, and the students can go in and start working on the template that you created. You know, and they can certainly edit all of those features by using some of the editing tools of the Google site that are found in here, such as editing a page, or adding new pages, and etc. So that's it. I hope you found this demo useful, and you know, you get your students creating Google sites for projects and maybe even student portfolios. I'm here if you have any questions. Good luck.